A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a groundbreaking statement that has reverberated across the globe, two prominent Israeli rights organizations, Selom and Physicians for Human Rights Israel, have publicly accused Israel of committing genocide in Gaza. This assertion, made on July 28, 2025, marks a significant development in the ongoing conflict that has persisted for nearly 22 months. The allegations arise in the context of Israel's military offensive, which was initiated in response to a deadly attack by Hamas on October 7, 2023. The claims have ignited a fierce debate regarding the nature of Israel's actions in Gaza, with Palestinians and numerous international human rights organizations echoing similar sentiments. The International Court of Justice is currently reviewing a genocide case filed by South Africa against Israel, further complicating the narrative surrounding the conflict. In Israel, a nation born from the ashes of the Holocaust, the term genocide carries profound emotional weight. Many Israelis, including some of the government's staunchest critics, have historically avoided labeling Israel's actions in Gaza as genocide due to the deeply ingrained memories of the Nazi genocide. Instead, many view the military response as a necessary measure against what they perceive as an existential threat following the unprecedented attack by Hamas. The rights groups, while respected on the international stage, are often seen within Israel as operating from a fringe perspective that does not reflect the views of the majority. Nevertheless, the fact that these allegations are coming from Israeli voices is a significant departure from the norm and has shattered a long-standing taboo within Israeli society. Guy Shalev, the director of Physicians for Human Rights Israel, noted that many in the Jewish Israeli community tend to dismiss accusations of genocide as biased or anti-Semitic. He suggested that the involvement of human rights groups based in Israel may serve to confront these accusations and prompt a more serious acknowledgement of the situation on the ground. Israel, for its part, maintains that it is engaged in an existential battle and adheres to international law. The government has categorically rejected the allegations of genocide, labeling them as anti-Semitic and politically motivated. Additionally, Israel is contesting these claims in the International Court of Justice, while also facing allegations of war crimes from the International Criminal Court against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, both of whom are subject to international arrest warrants. The Israeli government has largely attributed civilian casualties in Gaza to Hamas, asserting that the militant group uses civilians as human shields by embedding its fighters within residential areas. In their joint reports, Selom and Physicians for Human Rights Israel outlined how Israel's policies in Gaza, along with statements from senior officials regarding their objectives, have led them to conclude that genocide is occurring. Their findings resonate with previous assessments from international human rights organizations such as Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International. Notably, both Selom and Physicians for Human Rights Israel have been barred from entering Gaza during the conflict, relying instead on testimonies, documentation, and consultations with legal experts to support their claims. The rights groups argued that the shift in Israel's policy toward Palestinians in Gaza has transitioned from repression and control to destruction and annihilation, particularly following Hamas' attack. But Selom has long been a vocal critic of Israel's treatment of Palestinians, having ceased cooperation with the military nearly a decade ago due to concerns over the seriousness of army investigations into alleged misconduct. The report from Physicians for Human Rights Israel provided a detailed legal medical analysis, highlighting the systematic dismantling of Gaza's health infrastructure, including access to electricity, clean water, and food. The report asserts that Israel has committed 3 acts of genocide as defined by international law, including intentionally creating conditions that threaten the physical existence of Palestinians. The allegations of genocide resonate deeply in Israel, where the Holocaust is a central part of the national consciousness and collective memory. The 1948 Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, established in the aftermath of World War II, defines genocide as acts committed with the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. Shalev expressed the personal pain of reaching such a conclusion, given his family history as the grandson of a Holocaust survivor. He emphasized the responsibility that comes with this history and the need for accountability. Criticism of the war in Gaza within Israel has largely been focused on Netanyahu's leadership and the perceived political motivations behind his decisions, particularly regarding the ongoing hostage situation. However, the broader scrutiny of Israel's actions in Gaza has been limited for various reasons. Despite the extensive destruction and loss of life in Gaza, many Israelis have maintained a belief in the righteousness of their cause. The notion that their relatives in the military could be complicit in acts of genocide is difficult for most to accept. Nevertheless, there have been instances of soldiers refusing to participate in the conflict. Historian Jeffrey Herf noted that allegations of genocide overlook the complexity of the conflict between two parties and Israel's right to defend itself. In recent years, accusations of apartheid against Israel have gained traction, with some mainstream voices beginning to adopt similar rhetoric, albeit in a more nuanced manner. Israeli historian Tom Segev expressed skepticism regarding the potential impact of these new allegations on public opinion, suggesting that the predominant concern among Israelis remains the fate of hostages rather than the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza. However, he acknowledged that the events in Gaza are undermining the ideological and moral justifications for the existence of Israel. The rights groups have urged the international community to take action to protect Palestinians and have called on those within Israel who have remained silent to speak out. Sarit Mikeli, the international director for B'Tselem, emphasized the obligation to speak the truth and stand by the victims of the ongoing conflict. As the situation in Gaza continues to evolve, the implications of these allegations and the response from the Israeli government and international community remain to be seen. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.